This morning, I was preparing coffee and stuff, and I was scrolling through the phone, and there was this headline, some newspaper or whatever. Someone took a picture, and it said, "So and so country has invited the whole world to join. Doesn't matter who, just join. They are prepared to offer citizenship and welfare and all those things." Free healthcare, free education, and all those things. And I'm like, there's no such thing as free, you know. Has to pay for all of this. Nothing is really free, but they kind of sell you that way. It's weird. Anyway, I was like, what's going on, so and so country? And this one is ready, to invite whoever wants to join, and others are backtracking on their policy of letting the doors open because some people just fail to integrate or refuse or whatever. They are offering money for them to leave, and they don't leave. Maybe they do, I don't know. I've heard up to 80,000 euros. They're demanding, give me 80K and I'll leave. I'm like, wow, talk about extortion. Wow. I mean, I'm not the best person to talk about these things because I myself am not married and I don't have kids. It's simple. I find most people repulsive, especially those who have narcissism. I just can't stand those people. I'm like, no. So anyway, I think, if a tribe, a group of people, a nation fails to reproduce, they are actually inviting to be replaced. You know, they're just calling to be replaced. That's the natural order of things. So, so every family, in my opinion, ought to be out of six: mama, daddy, and four children. That's what I think. Why four kids? Well, mama and daddy need replacements, right? One, two, that's fair enough. But what about the other two? Well, they are spares. Spares, yeah, because, accidents, disease, anything can happen. The chosen, golden child might die in an accident. So you have other, as spares. And that's how it's supposed to be. Families of six. Minimum. If you want to have, healthy country and everything. So, I think we've end up in this situation which everybody's deserting the rural areas and just going to cities, which is the most extremely unhealthy thing you can do. They become career people, right? They focus on vacations, on material things. I want the new car, the new everything, the new toy. And I just don't have time or money to think about anything else. I mean, go ahead, but you have to think who's gonna, pay your retirement. That's something I never, understood. Why politics, uh, why politics, endorse low birth, policies. It doesn't make any sense. It's like you are, you know, you are taking care of your next, customers. They are your next customers, and if you don't allow them to be born, then it doesn't make any sense. Like that company that makes films for children. I'm not going to say its name. It seems they paid for their employees to travel to other places to have, that intervention to get rid of the, you know, And it's like, what are you doing so counterproductive? You are, eliminating your future customers. It doesn't make any sense. And it's the same thing for countries and nations when a politician endorses this Planned Parenthood bullshit. And you're like, well, why? You're just eliminating your next customers, your next, taxpayers. It doesn't make any sense what you're doing. And again, when you give the country to midwits, this is what happens. They just don't think. Aristotle warned us about this, the tyranny of the majority. Democracy doesn't work. Anyway, we are, for the most part, constitutional republics, but most people doesn't give a damn about the constitution. No one, reinforces it. You have to understand laws and constitutions and whatnot exist in paper, but then you have to reinforce them. And if you don't, then whatever, right? Besides, most people don't even know what constitution is. so so they've been running as a democracy, but the tyranny of the majority, just because there's more of them doesn't mean they are right. So we end up in situations like this. It's crazy. I mean, I couldn't care less. Around here, I noticed there's, people coming in from other places, but they are not, luckily, oh man, luckily, they are not from the middle, that part in the middle. No, they are from the Americas, you know, South Americas, and which is great. Yeah, because the language is almost the same Catholic, language, and so everything is smooth. Plus, we have good relations with them, so it's fine. We also have good relations with some nations in Africa, and they are here too, and they are integrated, no problem. But this is a fairly, poor country. There's not enough, there's not much of its salary, so to speak, and that's why it's not, a paradise for, economic migrants. Not really. Anyway, yeah, people around here also fail to reproduce. It's true. Two generations that families started getting smaller, smaller, and smaller, and children got all, colleged, and they flew away elsewhere. So just doesn't make any sense. I never thought about these things, because each one of us, has a responsibility, to, get a family together. We have that responsibility to our tribe, to our nation. Me, I always found it extremely difficult because most people are horrible. It's just me. Uh, I just can't stand most people, and women have told me in a rhetorical way, "You're not easily fooled, are you?" Because I can smell them a mile away, and they don't engage with me because I just don't enable bullshit. I don't. So likeness seeks likeness, that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm like, so be it. I'm a weird one, so I just can't stand these midwits. They're all fucking insane. This is one of the most highly smaxinated countries, by the way. They, man. So I think I'm gonna shut up. Have a nice day.